In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to explain cryptocurrency to your parents in a way that they will understand. Hey, if you're like me, then you've been trying to get your parents into cryptocurrency. They just don't seem to understand what it is or why it matters. Well, in this video I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to explain it to them so that they finally get it. Many of us have had to explain new technology to a retired parent, elderly aunt or grandparent. Wi-Fi, social media and Bluetooth are now mostly understood. But the new conversation is about cryptocurrency and blockchain. As the young person who is familiar with digital devices, you will be considered the expert. So it's worth taking some advice from Albert Einstein. The definition of a genius is taking the complex and making it simple. This post will help you explain the high-tech world of cryptocurrency to older adults. You don't need to be a genius to do this, but it is helpful to have some background knowledge. Some people think that the elderly are not interested in learning about cryptocurrencies. But this is not always true. Older adults are actually eager to learn about new technology. Even though they may not have a lot of prior knowledge about the subject, they are still willing to learn. If you keep explanations clear, the older generation can research blockchain and cryptocurrency on their own. They can then choose whether to get involved in this new world. Ditch the technical terms. Jamie Skella, co-founder of blockchain voting platform Horizon State, says the best way to explain crypto is to forget all the technical jargon. It can be confusing and is not necessary. Blockchain is just a distributed database or ledger. This can be simplified by calling it a shared record book. Every block is just a line item in the record book. Technology can be confusing, but it's not as complex as it might seem. The people who create and use technology are no smarter than you or me. In fact, it's all quite simple when you break it down. There are thousands of copies of the record book around the world. This means that there is no one person or organization who is in charge of it. Use examples for clarity. If your mother wants to send money to her brother, she would need to create a record in the book. This would show how much money she is sending and who it is going to be. This line item is seen and stored by other computers that help confirm the transaction is authorized and that it is safe to complete. The record book cannot be changed, so the records are permanent and seen by everyone who has a copy stored on their computer. If the money is sent back to your mother, this would be a new line item. That would require the same authorization and legitimizing steps as before. Cryptocurrencies are strictly digital. Jason King, Academy School of Blockchain co-founder, says that although there is a lot of talk about coins, people need to realize that there are no physical coins. These digital or non-physical coins have a certain value determined by their users. Cryptocurrency has value because people agree it does. Fiat currency, used by national governments, has value created and backed by the country's finance department. If that sounds confusing, King suggests thinking about rare comic books. The original Superman comic book sold for 10 cents a few years ago. But a collector bought it for $3 million because it is rare and desirable. The more people want a cryptocurrency, the higher its value. People also value cryptocurrencies for other reasons. Cryptocurrencies are tamper-proof and unchangeable, making them impossible to counterfeit or forge without cause and consent. Fast settlement is possible, thanks to cryptocurrencies. People can remain anonymous when they send information to a merchant or recipient. They can choose to share only the information they want to share. It is available to people who do not have identification or bank accounts. Unlike bank accounts which can freeze your account, users maintain control over their funds. Wait, what's mining? Lance Ulanoff, a tech expert, says that it is tricky to explain where these non-physical coins come from and where they can be sought. Ulanoff advises using the mountain analogy at this point. There's a place called Mount Bitcoin at which there are miners. Except miners use computers instead of actual mining equipment. Miners hope to find a Bitcoin that can be divided into smaller pieces, so they can trade it for the currency they want. Explaining how value works. One key factor that determines the price of cryptocurrencies is their usefulness. The more widely they are accepted, the more useful they become and the higher their price becomes. The price of something is often determined by how much people want it and how much is available. When something is rare, the price can go up because there are not many of them. Bitcoin is a good example of this. There are only 21 million Bitcoins that can be made. And people want them because they can be used to buy things. Cryptocurrency exchanges that don't use centralized financial institutions or third parties are operated and maintained by software. The software gets rid of the need for an intermediary to connect a buyer with a seller. This way, the buyer and seller can connect directly and without any fees. Machines more trustworthy than people. The computer-based authentication makes the system more reliable. People have not been able to find a way to trust each other. However, they have been able to get machines to trust other machines or networks of machines. What are the risks? Cryptocurrencies are a new type of investment, and it is important to point out the risks involved. These risks include the potential for losing money, as well as the possibility of being scammed. The internet is a lawless place where people can do whatever they want. People can be very vulnerable to hackers and thieves if they're not careful about who they let into their computer systems. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are becoming more popular. However, they can be risky to invest in because of past fraud. Some people think that this makes the currencies less valuable, but this is not always the case. Ippolito argues that these events have actually made the currencies stronger. Cryptocurrencies are becoming more popular, but many people don't understand how they work. An advisor says this is not much different from when people made gut-based guesses about stocks on the Nasdaq. He argues that the problem with this approach is that in crypto, the technology is wedded to the price. This means that if you don't understand the news coming out of services like CoinDesk, you can get into a lot of trouble because the price of crypto is so dependent on what is happening in the news. He provides a short checklist for you to use with your family members. Cryptocurrency will be a way for people to send money from one computer to another. It is not illegal. It can be complex, fascinating, and fun. But if it isn't, it is time to stop doing it. Stacy Rapakin, a finance writer at the money advice site Grow from Acorns, says that people can lose money when investing in cryptocurrencies in the same way they can when investing in stocks. It is tough to know how well your investment will do. We don't have a lot of data to help us understand what is happening in the market. This makes it hard to know when it is a good time to sell or how much you should pay for something. Some people think that the lack of regulatory oversight is good because it means there are fewer rules. Other people worry that this makes it easier for scammers to steal money from people's cryptocurrency accounts. Cryptocurrencies are becoming more popular, but some people are still skeptical of them. Cryptocurrencies are a digital form of money, and they have a lot of potential benefits. Explaining cryptos in simple terms can help people understand them better. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more content.